Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bloodworth, and as you can see by the graphics, I am going to be doing a box opening of the Conan RPG box set from TSR. I believe the date was 1980, 83, 84, possibly 85. We'll see. Now I picked up this game on eBay just recently. Paid $60 for it plus about $3 shipping and handling. I think total it came out to about $64. It's a it's a complete set short of the original dice and the crayon, but everything else was in good condition. They mentioned some somewhere on the covers, so with all of these, it's always an excitement to just open it up and to see, how well it matches its description. And so far I've been pretty lucky with these. And when I saw $60, I jumped on it. As long as it has the map and the books and everything, those are the real key parts of it. And the box is in fairly decent, not too bad of a shape. I understand, these games are very darn close to 40 years old. And so finding mint condition or very, very good condition, box sets, you start pushing into the $100+ range. And I have no intention of ever reselling these things. I just want them on my shelf. And so we're going to get right into it. So I'm going to switch views here and go to just a more open screen here. You can see I'm wearing my Frank Frazetta Conan shirt for the occasion. And I am going to take it out. So the person has packed it very well, and you can see that's came out of the package here, and I will need my trusty knife, and I know in my last video I didn't go through this process on camera. So I'm sure you'll let me know if you want to, if this part of the process of doing a box opening, you'd prefer me just to skip over and just to go right to the game itself, the box itself. So I still handle them pretty gingerly. So here we go with the box. And you are seeing it the very first time as I am. I'll just do a little spin around here. So we are both seeing this at the same exact time, which is why this channel is called Unscripted and Unchained. So you can see there's a little indentation. Yeah, they do have some tape on the inside, the corners of the box, but still, it's not terribly torn through. It looks more like, if you take a look here, it looks more like all they did was they put the tape in just to support it. It wasn't really a tear, as it might have just separated right where that seam comes together. So that's not really bad. That's pretty good. The bottom part of the box doesn't have the same taping, and we do see on the bottom. So here there is, a bit of a tear. But once again, I will tape it the same way You could see on the inside, let's see how I can angle this. So you can see that little separation there. Yeah, so the bottom just has that one corner. The rest is pretty good too. So, I'll tape that myself on the inside like they did on the other. So not too bad. So now we're going to take a look at the books and see. So here is the core rule book, and it used this this system here, the resolution table. You might also have seen this in Star Frontiers. They used this in Star Frontiers as well, and the book is actually pretty solid. I mean, I'm feeling that it hasn't. This is a test that I've done a number of times on this channel, where you can see, if it does lay out all the way, and this one particularly does, but it still has some decent flex to it, and the core rule book is really pretty solid, like that. The map is fully intact, and we will see. It doesn't look like it's damaged, and it's nice. And actually love this whole map. I mean, I love the pictures on it. This is something that I definitely want to frame. I would just have to have this framed up and on my wall. Probably put it right next to my Conan sword, and it's actually Conan's father's sword, which I actually always liked better than Conan's sword. So this is definitely a framer. And then here's the Hyborian, a collection of the Hyborian studies. It's basically the setting book. All right, this is compiled by David Cook. Now, I remember playing this back in, playing this back when it first came out, and just absolutely loved the system. It was a really, really good system for Conan. And let's see if we get a date on it. Printed in the U.S. 1985. And since there's only one, so this is first edition. So it's 1985. I don't know if it did multiple printings or its first printing, first edition. And the interior of the book is actually looking really quite well. I'll show you here. Actually, I'll switch views, and we will go to my desktop view. So here's this book here, and so there, the game design is David Cook, N.C. Gray, and Mike Brault is the editor. Graphic design, Ruth Hoyer. Illustrator, Jeff Butler. And the logo designer was Jeff Easley. And you can see some of the interior art. I mean, really, really nice stuff. Going to the different countries of the world. Yeah, great condition. Very happy with that. I'll take a look at the rule book. Blah. I do handle these things very gingerly, so I have a hard time, opening up the booklets sometimes. But here we have the introduction, and then bang, right into combat. All right, which you would expect from a Conan RPG. And then movement, dangers, and perils, the magic, living in Hyboria, improvement and ultimate goals, the referee's adventure in Hyboria, creating Hyborian adventures, and adventures in the world of Hyboria. So You just go right into character creation. All kinds of things about, what happens when you get hurt, defending yourself. I also have all of this in PDF as well. So what I'm going to do is once I get this back in the box, other than the map, like I said, is getting framed and put on the wall. But once I get this all done and put up there, it's going to go on the shelf, and there it shall remain. Tower of the Elephant. Very classic adventure. So that's the core rulebook. So this is the referee's chart. And as you can see, just 4 pages. Everything that you need as a referee. Then we have the more of a reference guide here, so we can go in and talents and weaknesses. So instead of having it in the rule book, it has it here as well, or it's just here. So now you can look at this separately, and there is a copy of the charts and tables. So here's the resolution table, equipment lists, and specific wound charts, jewels tables, and such. And now these, usually what I've seen is that in a lot of the box sets, they'll list this as being something that has been written on. And this one, at least, I didn't get that indication that it was. And so we will see. So here's the character name. And all you have to do is, if you want to play this, you just make photocopies of it. And so, yes, this one is certainly unused. And then this one here is certainly unused. And then there is the stock Conan the Barbarian. And so you can see his stats. Let me just adjust this a little bit. So here we have his stats here. So his prowess is a 3. His fighting is a 2. His endurance is a 3. His knowledge is 0. His perception is 0. And his intelligence is, or intuition might be, 1. It's been so long since I played this game. And you can see his specific skills that fall within those talent pools. And like I said, this is, these are unused and in very, very good condition. So, and I will just pack it all back up again the way that it was. So like I said, I will do a little taping on that bottom portion of the box here. I'll drop this in here. And then this goes here. Let's see. And so once again, actually I'll switch over. So once again, very, very happy with this. Certainly in the condition as described, and actually probably a little bit better than I was expecting. And all it's really lacking is the original dice and the crayon that I can tell. Everything else, all the contents on the inside of the box were in mint condition, virtually unused. And as you saw on the character sheets, they were completely blank and clean, and corners really sharp on them. The map in great condition. So I was really, really looking forward to getting a hold of this box set, because it was one of my favorite games, in the mid 80s. Once we had moved on from, we stayed on to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons first edition up until about 1987. But this was certainly a game that we introduced as soon as it came out. We were also playing Call of Cthulhu, I believe, second edition at the time, Star Frontiers, which Eventually, I'm going to get around to buying the box set of Star Frontiers because that was another favorite game of mine back then as well. So, yet another box set to add to my collection. And when you see that closeout screen on this video, you'll see, my growing collection. And so this is certainly something that's going to be permanently put on that shelf as well, so that you'll see that it's, the collection keeps on growing. If only I had kept all of these games back when I was when I was a teenager and young adult, and just packed them away and had them secure instead of selling off a bunch of them in a yard sale and just losing track of some of them, during the moves and everything. I would have probably saved myself several $1,000s, thousands of dollars in repurchasing everything from my youth. But when I find games in this kind of condition, on eBay and for a reasonable price, that's just another element of the hobby of being a collector, and recapturing your youth through finding these gems. So you can still find these games in good condition and in and fairly cheaply. That it's just another aspect of the hobby. So once again, thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Share it if you'd like to see it. I'll post this on several different social media sites, and on Facebook. Certainly put it in the Conan RPG Facebook page. There's an arts one. There's tons of Facebook communities, dealing with Conan, the character, and the comics and the games. So you can always look up for this video there as well, along with other, a lot of other great content that people in the Conan the Barbarian community are putting out there on their Facebook pages. So once again, thanks a lot for joining. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I look forward to seeing you on the gaming screen sometime soon. Maybe I'll even get a gaming session and do a one-shot for Conan RPG sometime in the near future. Thanks for joining. Have a good day.